All right, Mike with Trike, Mike, Texas. So normally when I'm doing videos, they are probably two to 3 weeks out from being published. That's how many I've got in the queue. And I just, don't often accelerate a video. This is a different case. So I put out my video, what day was that? I put my video out on my steering issues with my Azub tie fly last week. I don't know when it actually aired. Yeah, a week ago. Anyway, I put that out. It was over the holidays. And yesterday was the first day back after the holidays for most people. And I got an email from Azub. Matter of fact, from Honza. And I feel like I kind of know Honza, even though I've never spoken with him. Watching Matt's videos. So I'm hoping I get to meet him at CycleCon this year. So I think he's a cool character. Anyway, email from Honza. He says, "Hi Mike, how are you? I wish you the best in this new year." He commented on my YouTube channel and he says, "Sorry to hear about your trouble. I really recommend to change the steering pivot completely. If it is bent, it is recommended to do so. Valid to all other parts on the trike as well. Also, you should tighten the steering axle by the open end wrench and not by the Allen key." Well, makes sense. I appreciate that. And I did notice on that video, I tightened it with the Allen key. So, dopey me. The longer screw on the right side that disconnects the steering rod to the steering axle assembly is there on purpose. That's good to know. I had a question about that. Together with the tall washer, it gives room for the chain and chain tubes that would be worn much faster without it. Makes sense. You can convert the tie fly 26 to a tie fly X. That was a question I had. Pretty easily, but there's some conditions. The drum brakes are normally not an option, but those are probably negotiable. However, the issue is the XL seat that won't fit the X. I do have an XL seat. I got it. I'm a little bigger guy, but I've ridden the regular seat and I don't find a problem with it. The reason I got it is it had a built-in riser to raise the seat up, and it was all one piece. It wasn't like you can get a riser for the normal seat, but it's a separate piece. I didn't want the extra connectors. That's why I got the XL seat. And that makes sense because the bigger wheels do come in closer when they're steering. So I would need not only different fenders, different wheels, different seat to accomplish an X out of mine. And then the brakes are an option because I might have to replace the whole brake units and not just, connect the wiring up to new drum brakes. Anyway, it's best to contact the sales team, which I've already heard back from the following day. Actually, probably the same day. I just didn't check my computer that rest of that day. He says, looking at my figure, I think you'd be okay with the L size seat, which I've ridden the Fly X multiple times, and probably 50 miles. And yes, the seat's no problem. You probably had it on the Fly X you tested at John's, which, yes. Did you feel a significant difference? No. You may want to try it again. There are normally also longer handlebars on the X, so I think the most of the people are going for the conversion, just skip the longer handlebars. That's interesting too. I wonder if the wheels are set out a little farther. I'm not sure. Yes, that's interesting. He says changing all of that, which means wheels, seat, brakes, handlebars, and mud guards, is a significant change. You might want to just get a complete new trike. And I think I agree. I think that's probably the smarter thing to do in this regard. If I'm going to upgrade, though, I'm going to upgrade. I've been trying to find information on the Bosch for what it shows you on the phone, because I'll find a deal here, because what pulls up on the Shimano Steps for a display for me is remarkable. I mean, it's the best thing out there. If the Bosch has something similar, I would not hesitate to switch. Not very many people have gone over what's actually on the display that you can see. And I like it because it stays on the entire time I'm riding, 4 or 5 hours, however long. It's always on. It's showing me my speed, my distance, just everything. It's showing me everything. And that's what I would want similar on the Bosch system. Because, I can't see very well these displays. Even my wife's, when it's up close, if I put my sunglasses on, which are polarized, her display just disappears. I mean, disappears. I gotta do one of these numbers to see the display, and then I can't see as good because I need glasses. So that's one thing. And the next is, I really love this trike. So and if I do the upgrade, I'm just going to upgrade. I mean, I'm not going to go part way and then wish I had something different. I want to do the upgrade. I didn't know anything about a roll-off when I bought my trike. I didn't know anything about Di2 when I bought my trike. I would not get the Di2 for myself again. I do not like auto shifting at all, at least with the Di2 system. There's probably other benefits to this system that I'm getting, but it has it, and that's fine. It's not a problem because I can put it in manual mode. But a roll-off eliminates all those gears in the back, which have broke on me before. Again, not an Azub problem. That's more of a Shimano problem. And it's pretty much maintenance free. So that's my interest in there. I've not been able to test one. I will not buy anything without a thorough test. Just because I believe with the Trikes, you've got to test ride them. much as I love Azub and I like ice, my sister-in-law came down, rode my wife's ice, and mine. No, I think Kaylin rode mine, but rode the ice for a week. Loved it so much she wanted to go buy a trike. She's from Ohio, so we went down to John's. And while we were waiting on him to fix up the ice there for her to test ride, we grabbed a catrike Dumont, and she test rode it. And she says, well, I like this better. And this one didn't even have e-assist. She says, I like this better. And so we test rode the ice again. And she says, no, I like the catrike better. So regardless of what it is, you can stick to a brand, but test ride all the models. You can stick to anything, but you need to like what you're riding, be the most comfortable in it. Everybody's built different. Not everybody needs a tank. They'd be better off with a tank, but may not be the optimum for some people. And that's why they have different models. But regardless, I've asked about the part, and so we're going, back and forth on what I actually need. If y'all think, I don't think that steering assembly's bent. I think the bolt inside of it's bent. I think that's what bent. The other just looks pretty straight on, but when you unscrew it, you could see it wobble. And that to me is not this part, because when it pivots smooth. It doesn't wobble when it pivots. It's just when you unbolt it. So I really just probably need a bolt and maybe the bushings inside the bearings, but I don't even think so on that. I think it's just the bolt is the problem. That'd be my first guess. Probably the easiest, cheapest. But as far as Azub goes, you guys, y'all need to be proud of the team you got working for you. These guys go out of their way to make sure people are informed and get what they need, get what they want. It's just absolutely a phenomenal team of people. I bought their trike, okay? Normally, they would never see anything. They watch my videos. This is not the first time they've commented on something about my videos. They post my videos on their Facebook page. I'm so impressed with the brand, the trike, and the team. You guys need to be proud of it because, I'm proud to own one. And people say, well, Mike, you've had problems. Well, I got 4,500 miles and I ride this thing all the time. And I guarantee you, no other trike wouldn't have problems. Everything's going to have problems. This is a problem caused by me not seeing a curb in front of me. It looked like a just flat out, sidewalk. It's just a continuous sidewalk. And all of a sudden, it just dropped. And, I was going slow because I was going between two picnic tables. So probably paying more attention to the picnic tables. I've gone off curbs on purpose, not slow though, because I knew that stuck out back there, that piece. Those were at speed to test out the suspension, which I did one time. And the suspension works good. I've got a video on that way back. I don't even know what it's called. But one of the first videos I did. But, and then I've done it one other time off a curb that is in my tipping video, talking about tipping, trike tipping science, where we did not know that was there. We went off at speed, so I'm pretty sure nothing got hit at that point because we're going fairly quick. And, you know, but either way, all avoidable. And there's nothing I can say bad about the trike and its robustness. And, you know, it's the idiots riding it that, you know, cause problems. So, yeah, probably longer video than it needed to be, but, you know, I like to yap. I'm not writing while I'm yapping because I had to read the video or the email again to you guys. You know, normally I would yap while I'm writing because, you know, trike with Mike and not, you know, sit in Mike's office. At least I got Texas, right? Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. Just also today, there's a test ride of a Azub Trikon. So good timing. I've now ridden all of their trikes, at least that John's has. Let me go to their website and see azub.eu. Okay, so the X, so the tie fly, it's basically the same all the way around. 2026X, it's just the tires. Same thing with the Trikon 2026 GR gravel. Tetris. T-Trisec. I have not test ridden a T-Trisec. I think, isn't it the tiniest of tinies? For kids, yes. I don't think I'll be testing a T-Trisec, but that's good to know that it exists. Wow, that's kind of cool. Because I got a grandkid in about, I wonder what age, probably 10 or 12 years before he could ride. Yeah, so I've ridden each model. I've ridden the Tetris with the 20s, Trikon with the 26, the tie fly with the 26, and the X. So basically I've ridden all of them. I've ridden them with regular, no e-assist. I've ridden them with the Shimano Steps. I've ridden them with the Bosch. And John threw a couple of Bafangs on some models that I rode recently at his place. I go with the Bosch or Shimano. Now, ironically, I might have to put a Bafang on this ice I picked up just because I went riding the other day and I couldn't keep up with my wife. I went riding it. And I got it to ride with my sister-in-law and her. And if they're taking off and leaving me in the dust, then, you know, I want some e-assist. And you can't retro much to Bosch or a Shimano. A Bafang is a do-it-yourself thing, and one of the guys in the Plano Lowriders knows how to do that stuff. So I will learn. Anyway, again, I got squirreled. I got rambling. So thanks for watching.